I read a very interesting post on Reddit today. If you go to Reddit, they have all different kinds of subreddits, and one of the subreddits, of course, someone like me goes to a lot, is the UFO subreddit. And before I get into this, I believe there's a collective unconscious or collective conscience, actually. Where a lot of times we all think on similar lines, and then finally somebody says it. But what this guy said here, this was from user Saw Saddam. I can't even read his name. However, he reposted it. He made a comment here. He wrote, and this is because of what just happened recently when the Pentagon released that little 7-page report that said that there are some things out there that we don't know what they are, and more scientific study is necessary. I mean, it's very, very soft kind of disclosure, but really doesn't tell us a lot. They're not telling us, well, again, I don't know if it's the people there. I know there has to be some sort of group in the government. I'll talk about this before. I talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. There has to be a group in the government, some small little faction that knows a lot, but not everybody in the Pentagon knows. It's probably only on a need to know. I'm sure it's only on a need to know basis. So, so they're only going to give us what they know. But this other group that's in charge of dealing with actual extraterrestrial recovered craft and bodies, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to tell you anything. They're just going to keep that information secret for God knows how long. But anyway, this is what this person on Reddit wrote. Again, his name is Sakekas Sadom. Whatever that is, I can't. Okay, Custom. I can't pronounce it, whatever his name is. However, he wrote, the government will never relinquish its data. Never. Therefore, they and their data are irrelevant, useless, even to themselves. The evidence is useless. Soon, someone is going to have honest-to-God high-res images of these things in some irrefutable manner and post it online. It's inevitable at this point. However, this won't matter one bit. You could shower any scientist with all the data you want. We will still be at our current level of understanding, which is none. The actual next step is to publicly capture one of these. Anything short of that does nothing to advance our understanding. No amount of analysis or documentary making or pictures or evidence will do anything. We have to capture one publicly and open it up and film and broadcast it live. No idea how, but that's the only way to move the ball forward. I'm thinking. I've been thinking something on the same line of that. Myself. I mean, it's just I don't think, unless somebody else comes up with something, themselves, somehow come by the proof themselves. We're never gonna get the truth the way this thing is going. Not in any generation nearby. It doesn't seem that way, does it? I mean, they've already been sitting on it for about 75 years. So who's to say they won't sit on it for another 75 years? I believe what's keeping it, why they're keeping it secret still it's because of the military implications of this. It's about trying to develop these. Whoever develops this anti-gravity aircraft, flying craft, whatever you want to call it, whoever develops it first will, they'll be in charge. They're gonna be the boss. And in a way, you could understand that. It's understandable. However, right? If this is a major, they could keep all that stuff secret. If they don't want to show us, okay, exactly what they got, how they think it works, what they've learned up to this date, that's fine. Sit on it, okay? Keep that quiet. Just give us something rather than other, like in the report. Oh, other, we don't know what they are. Come on. We all know what's going on. I mean, not all of us. I know what's going on. There's other people who know what's going on. And there's some people who don't, and they should. They should know. It's time, you know. But, basically you're forcing the hands of some civilians. So what's going to happen? I posed this question. Okay, now say somehow somebody comes up with the absolute proof, right? And before the federal government can pounce down like they did in Roswell back in 1947, before that happens, they somehow get this out, to the world. They somehow present this information to the world. And then all of a sudden, governments across the world you're going to be caught with your pants down. That's what's going to happen. You're going to look foolish. And I know right now there's probably people in the government, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Hey, it could happen. Just because you don't think it could happen doesn't mean it can't happen. And there might be a way. There might be a way to come up with the absolute irrefutable proof that everyone, once they see it, will know. They'll know. And there'll be no turning back from there. And it won't be you. It's not going to be you who presented this information first, who presented the proof first. It's going to be some person, some regular old person, some civilian just walking the streets right now and says, hey, look at what I found. And however it's presented or whatever it is, someone's going to prove it. And it's not going to be the government, and the government's going to look really silly. And everyone's going to know that you've been lying. Wouldn't it be better? Wouldn't it be better to come out and just say, yeah, you know what? Yes, we have been lying. We've been lying for years. And this is why. Okay? Give a reason. But wouldn't it be better to come out with this information yourself rather than just playing this game and suppressing history, right? I mean, it's suppressing the growth of humankind, actually, in a way. I mean, wouldn't this bring us all together in a good way, right? I mean, right now everyone's fighting amongst each other everywhere, in our own country, other countries, everywhere. I mean, if all of a sudden everybody all of a sudden realized, wow, we're not the only ones. There's things here for sure. If everyone knew this, I know it, right? I know it. I'm embarrassed, I'm embarrassed when I think what they probably see when they look at us, when they're outside of the box looking down at us and think, woo, look at these animals shooting each other, rude to each other. There's, in all different ways. But wouldn't something like that, wouldn't that information, wouldn't it bring us all together? And we all be like one saying, look, something's going on here. Now we know. Let's take it from there. Let's see what happens. I think it would be a good thing for humankind to let that information out. It doesn't, why let it just fester within just a small little group, who right now sitting back thinking they're superior to the rest of us. You're not superior. You're no different than if I was to know this information, if I had access to all of it, right? It doesn't change. I'm still the same person. Doesn't make me better than somebody else. It's time to come out with this information. However, I don't think the federal government, who I'm referring to, this secret group, this, Majestic 12, whatever. Okay, whatever. Right? I don't think they're going to listen to someone like me. I'm just throwing that out there for what it's worth. Because someday somebody's going to figure out how to get this, how to come up with the absolute proof that's going to be irrefutable. It will be irrefutable. It's coming. I have some ideas in my own head how it might be possible. Boy, that would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, imagine somebody like getting that material, and then, before anybody, before anybody could say UFO conspiracy, there it is. It's already out there. The whole world knows. Everything stops and dead in its tracks. Think about it. It's time. Stop this game. Stop it. And I say to other people out there, there's people like me who know that something's going on, and who know that this is being covered up, and it's been covered up, been getting covered up for decades. To those people, Start thinking outside the box. If there's something that you can do to come up with this absolute irrefutable proof, these videos and images, pictures, stories, that's just not going to cut it. I've been telling stories for years, and some people don't believe me. There's things that happen that I know about for a fact, and I've been telling people the same thing for years, and there's nothing I can do about it because there's some people that just don't believe me. I don't have any absolute proof. Even if I would have had pictures, would it have mattered? No. Pictures just aren't going to do it. You need to have some sort of physical, absolute, irrefutable evidence. And there's ways. If people start thinking about this, people just stop for a minute and think about it. It's not a crazy thing. I mean, basically, think about it. Think about this. The Pentagon just admitted there's things out there, they don't know what they are. So they're telling you. They are telling you, in a way. They're telling you. They're saying, yeah, there's something here. We don't get it. I know Neil deGrasse Tyson comes on all the mainstream media shows and says stuff like, it could be anything. Could be problems with the filming equipment. No. He doesn't even take into account all these other things that's happened. It's not just what the Pentagon showing us. What about the alien abductions stories like Travis Walton and the Betty and Barney Hill? What about those? You think all these people are lying? Those kids in Zimbabwe back in September 1994, those 62 kids during a recess in broad daylight, a flying saucer comes down and an alien being comes out and then communicates with them telepathically. Okay? There's stuff going on here. Okay? That right there, that should be the proof right there. That actually is. In a court of law, I said this before, I shouldn't get into it again, but I can't help it. It's just, to me, that's irrefutable. That would convict somebody in a court of law. But, that's not good enough. That's still not good enough. So we need an actual alien or an actual extraterrestrial. I don't know what kind. Doesn't matter. Who knows how many species are coming here? They won't tell us anything. We need one of those or one of their flying saucers. Okay? Or some sort of object or device from inside their flying saucer. Something that does things that nothing that we have right now can do. Nothing you could ever... I'm sure that they got all kinds of stuff. Okay? Somehow, if somebody out there could come up with that stuff, that proof, imagine how the world could be changed. We could change it. If it happened, say it happened tomorrow, the next day, a week from now, a month from now. It could happen instead of sitting back and waiting for whoever these people are that already know that something's going on. These gatekeepers who, think they're better than everybody, right? Instead of waiting for them to finally say, okay, it's time now, we'll tell them. Instead of those people who have been treating us like children for decades, instead of waiting for them, how about we come up with it ourselves, okay?